All right. Hey, everybody on Twitch, on Discord, on probably a VOD if you're coming in at a little bit of a different time zone. But yeah, we are joined by the absolutely lovely Ayla Derrick today. I'm sure if you're on LinkedIn, you know her, you've seen her, you love to see her chat. She is the creative director at Cave Bear Games, who just released their first flagship project, right?
What does flagship mean?
Flagship is like the first product your company makes.
Okay, well then yes. We're
Yeah.
done. We won't be revisiting Plantasia's universe for a while, if ever. But yeah, it's our first game.
There you go. So yeah, the first game just came out. We've got it linked. We'll link it again at the end if you guys missed it. I 100% recommend you check it out. Play it. It's made by a lovely cast of people who are new to the industry, and I assume that's a lot of you joining and hanging out today. So I'm excited to talk to you, Ayla, about that journey, about your journey into games in general, because you said you're coming out of teaching, which is a little bit of a kind of far, different. Quick hook from it.
Yeah, a little different. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah, Plantasia 2, Electric Boogaloo. I think I've literally heard, I think someone said that. I don't know if it was you, Rick, or if it was someone else even internally to the team, but I think that exact line has been said before. Probably no Plantasia 2 for a minute. But yeah, we were a team of 15 junior developers. So we were either transfers into the industry like me from completely different disciplines like teaching, or transfers into the industry from adjacent, like our audio director has been a 10-year composer, just never for video games, and so he unfortunately is still considered a junior in the industry. Or recent graduates, we had a couple of our team members graduate college while they were on the team, or we had people who just had been out of college for a minute but still hadn't managed to break in, like our narrative designer. And so all juniors, that's kind of what we're known for, and we did it. Published a game. Took us a minute.
So it is possible, folks. It is possible right here. It happens.
Living proof.
There you go. Thriving proof, really, too. You love to see it.
I don't know about that. I could use a little bit more money, but it's fine.
Well,
can't pay any bills, but that's all right.
Yeah, that's OP. Indie studio.
That's why I have a husband. That's his job.
Exactly. Collaboration, I think, is the LinkedIn term that they choose to use.
Oh yeah.
In which case, could you give us a little bit of a self intro and kind of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 years ago, English education. I was working when developing curriculum and tutoring, all that fun stuff. I could do it. It was the job I went to college for, because, we as a society force, 18-year-old children to decide what they're going to do for the rest of their lives. So I picked something that I knew I could do, but didn't know what I wanted to do. So I became a teacher, was doing the teaching thing, was not having a good time, especially during and post COVID, wasn't having a good time.
That'll do it,
I know, yeah. And just didn't know what I wanted to do. And then eventually, for some reason, it clicked in my brain that games were a thing that I could do without needing to know how to code and be a mathematician and all that fun thing. And once I kind of realized that, it was a pretty instant switch for me. I have a bad habit of kind of just doing whatever I want without really thinking about it. So I did not look into the games industry at all. I didn't look to see how it was going. I said, I have an extensive writing background. I can for sure get a job in games. Not the case, obviously. But didn't know that until after I had quit my job. It's fine. I didn't want to be there. So I joined the industry. I was searching up on Google how to make a game, found GDS, found LinkedIn, started just, kind of educating myself, trying to figure out what to do, how this all worked, what would be the fastest way for me to get a job. but yeah, I really quickly realized, especially in narrative design, that I would not be able to find a job anytime soon for at least 2 years, if not more than that. And if I wanted to be taken at all seriously, I needed to build a game, have a game published, have my name in credits. And I knew as a writer that I couldn't do that by myself. The whole point was I couldn't code. So I didn't want to just make I didn't want to make just like a Twine game on my own, because despite, wanting to be a narrative designer, I actually don't really like narrative games all that much. And with ADHD, it's really hard to do something you don't want to do. So I couldn't do it. I literally couldn't do it. I was trying to do it, couldn't do it. But I had made some friends in the GDS community. So I started recruiting them, be like, hey, I had this game idea, Plantasia. I think it's marketable. I think it's, possible. We should do it. And they liked me and they agreed. And we built the team, and then role on LinkedIn really helped us. And that made things a lot more exciting. And then we published a game.
Nice. So that was a pretty quick, speedy turnover from teaching into games, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of do things, man.
I totally get it.
I don't think too hard about it. I just, ADHD people, they get it. It's just, when you want to do something, you just do it. If you think too hard, you just overthink it, and then you won't do it. So my whole thing is just don't think about it too hard.
Yeah, I mean, just doing it is a great way to get actually started on projects for sure. Exactly. Seriously.
Exactly.
And what inspired Plantasia? Why Plantasia?
Plantasia, I'm so lucky with Plantasia. That game really popped into my head fully formed, and I did not have to put any thought into it at all. I'm very lucky now that I'm developing a second game. It is simply not that easy the second time around. Plantasia came from me following the development of Rusty's Retirement before I even joined the industry. Rusty's Retirement is a pixel farming sim that sits on the bottom third of your computer screen. It is the first game to do anything like that, and now we see a bunch of games alongside Plantasia doing just that. I was following it on TikTok as an ADHD girly. I was really excited about it. I was like, I can play a game while I work. It only takes up part of my screen. I thought it was sick. So I was really excited to see it. The demo came out. I played it. Immediately, I saw the potential. And it also reminded me of a game from my childhood from 2007 called Plant Tycoon, which is a old game by the same people who made Virtual Villagers, if you're aware of Virtual Villagers. Yeah. Or Virtual Family or stuff like that. So Plant Tycoon is just a game where you have it up. It does take up your full screen. It's a computer game. And you plant seeds in little pots, and they grow, and you can cross-pollinate them, and then you can sell them in a store. And I fucking loved that game. But my plants would die while I was at school, because you're supposed to. The plants continue to grow while you
the Tamagotchi issue. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Tamagotchis die too. And I literally collect Tamagotchis now. I have a Tamagotchi here.
Oh my God.
I have two little blind bag Tamagotchi cases, and I literally have more time. I collect Tamagotchi. So that's who I am. Okay. That's the kind of shit I like. Yeah. So I loved Plant Tycoon, but I hated those two aspects of it. I just wanted to play Plant Tycoon. And so once I saw Rusty's Retirement's format, I said Plant Tycoon would be perfect for this. And so Plantasia was born, except it's solar punk, which is just fun. Yeah.
And for those who don't know what solar punk is, could you explain?
Yeah, sure. I mean, solar punk is a sci-fi kind of genre style ambiance, except it's specifically about living in harmony and equality with plants. So a lot of the games and media that you see with solar punk is where they're on Earth. There's a lot of plants, but there's also really advanced technology. But again, it's all works in tandem with each other. And I love that because, the environment is cool. But something cool about Plantasia was I took that solar punk idea and put it into space. So I haven't seen a solar punk rendition that's in space. All of them are on a planet, whereas I took the sci-fi-ness of space and brought plants into that environment and equalized them there, which is a fun little thing. And so it looks a little bit more sci-fi. If you're really familiar with solar punk, you'd be like, this is a little bit more sci-fi. But I think it's the same, just in a little bit of a different flavor.
I think it's solar punk. Yeah. I think it's still solar punk. It's got that like, you know, like optimism to it that I think solar punk has. Yeah. Yeah. Some people haven't heard of it before. Honestly, I love the genre. I think it's super, like I just said, like it's a very
so excited to see
way
more
of
of
looking
it
to the future. Yeah.
There's more of it in media. I'm excited to see more games. There's literally a game called Solarpunk. I played its demo a little bit ago. It was good. I was a little bit disappointed in the demo. Not that it was bad. It's just I felt like they could do more. So hopefully they do more.
Fair enough.
But yeah, love Solarpunk.
Yeah. So if you're looking for like a pick-me-up game, I definitely recommend checking it out on Steam and stuff. It's very fun. Yeah. So you go from teaching to Plantasia to a successful launch. How was managing? What did a creative director do? How was kind of managing the team? How was that role that you kind of put yourself into?
I took up the leadership role really seriously. Obviously, with a creative director, your job traditionally, as far as I'm aware, I'm not an expert, is about maintaining the vision of the game, the goals of the game, and making sure everything that happens and is developed works with that vision. Usually, the creative director has the initial vision, or at the very least, they adopt it and fully embody it. They are the last like decision maker, the final decision maker of pretty much everything to make sure that the game comes out exactly how it is supposed to. And so I did that. But I also, because I'm also the founder of the studio and the leader of the team, it was really important. Leadership was really, really important for me. And thankfully, surprisingly, teaching really helps with leading a game studio. That leadership really, really helps. It turns out that managing a classroom of rowdy teenagers isn't too much different from managing a team of game developers. It's all about just understanding. It's all about just understanding how each team member works, what helps them be successful, and it is a lot similar to a producer, the leadership role. But I did have me with task management, time management, stuff like that. And I did take on a lot of producer-ish roles, but I think it is important for a leader to really have that kind of team dynamic where they set the tone, right? The producer does what you tell them to do, which is manage the team. But you are the one to make sure that the team is happy as the founder, as the leader. Again, if you are a creative director and you're not the founder, your roles might be different. But someone has to make sure that the team is happy and connected and communicative. So it's a lot of things. It really just depends. Thankfully, well, not thankfully, but the titles in the games industry fluctuate wildly.
They do. They do.
Really, It really just depends, like Rick says, it really just depends on which studio you're working with and what, Brody says typically the producer is more breaking down tasks and timelines, which is absolutely true. I would tell my producer, like, hey, this is our priority. This is the priority list. This is the order. This is the scope. Well, we would help decide on the scope together. But then my producer would then break down those tasks and turn them into timelines and figure out how long it was going to take each team member to do each task and stuff like that.
Sick. And did you find because volunteer studios are obviously so different from, paid studios. Did you find that it was difficult to kind of wrangle everyone together and manage those timelines?
It was different. So I haven't paid anyone, so I'm not an expert on what it's like to run a paid position. But we've all worked in paid positions before, so I can kind of assume. With a volunteer position, you are not motivating your employees with pay, with money. You have to motivate them however else you can. And so for me, the way that I found that to work is, well, they all really enjoyed the project. They were passionate about the project, whether it was a game that they felt they would play, like myself, or if it was a challenge, like my game designer is not a cozy gamer, is not a cozy game developer. He's a combat developer. Yeah, he's a combat designer. He plays combat games. He's like a world ranking combat competitive player.
Okay.
And so for him, his passion came from doing something new and interesting. And he also had like a weird connection, like being really interested in growing plants in space just in general. Like he almost went to college for that. So, that's how he was. Yeah. So that's how he was invested. My audio director, he was passionate about the project because Plantasia, the name comes from the musical album called Mother Earth's Plantasia by Mort Garson from the 1970s. And my audio director is a huge fan of Mort Garson and was a huge fan of the album. And so that's where his passion came from. And so, finding the passion of each team member is really important in order for them to have that initial interest in the game. But then also allowing them to kind of do what they want, not in a way that like let them run loose and do whatever they want and the game goes in every direction, but in a way where every single team member can see themselves within the game. My artist, I didn't hire him just because he was a good artist. I hired him because he had the style that I wanted, because his personal style resonated with the game I wanted to make. And so he was able to really expand on his own style and put himself in the game. He could look in this game and be like, this is me, this is my art. Same with my audio director, with my programmer, like, yes, she programmed, my lead programmer, she programmed and did all that fun stuff, but she also likes to animate every once in a while. And so there's some fun particle animations that you might see in the game. And she just did that because it's fun for her. And she was more than allowed to do that. They have to be able to see themselves in the game because they have to have that motivation. You're not paying them. You have to, you can't just tell them what to do. You have to let them kind of explore and be creative themselves.
Yeah. And I'm curious, like, great parallel to the game of like growing these plants and plant tycooning this. How do you continue to like foster that inspiration and kind of nail down that, not discipline necessarily, but like the disciplined mindset of like continuing for a deadline?
Yeah, I mean, being super transparent with the team is really important. So we had team meetings every week where, almost all, if not all of the team members were present, where we talked about, hey, what did every single person accomplish last week and what are they trying to do this week, so that every single person on the team knew exactly where the game was at any point in time. So instead of being isolated in their roles and only knowing what they were doing and not being able to see the full game progress, they instead were able to see exactly what was happening and see the game come together slowly, bit by bit, every week. And that's really exciting to see, like, suddenly the art is in and you're like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And the programmers will do like a little, test drive through the engine and show you the new features. And that's really, really exciting. The meetings ended up being kind of long, but for the most part, they were really fun and really enjoyable because we got to see this project, this creative art piece that we were all working on, slowly come together over time. I think close communication is really, really important, both through meetings, face-to-face meetings, or audio meetings, which is mostly what we did. Every once in a while, we turn on our cams, or just through, a very open Discord, team Discord, which is what we had as well. So maintain that communication, making sure everyone on the team knows everyone else, and is friends with everyone else. Sometimes they didn't work as closely with some people as they did others, but they still knew everyone. We were really lucky for half of our team to go to GDC last year. Awesome. They reference that as being an amazing event for them because they all got to hang out with each other and really get to know each other. And they had so much fun. I'm super lucky that we got to do that. So it's just, you are friends. You kind of have to be friends when it comes to a volunteer community, a volunteer team. You don't have to love everyone. You don't have to like everyone. There were certainly some times where people had some issues with other people.
Of course.
But again, that's your job as a leader to make sure that you are aware of those things, make sure that your team members are comfortable with coming to you with those issues and making sure that you have the discipline to resolve those issues in a professional manner that makes everyone happy.
For sure.
You got to host a booth with the K-Bear Games team at one of the after parties. Oh, are you talking about?
Sick.
Wait. Because we didn't have a booth. Are you talking about the? I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't have a booth.
With the Cape Break Teams team.
Oh, host a booth. Oh, you mean like literally a booth at a bar when we saw you, Rick?
Oh,
yeah, I think that's what you're talking about.
Very cool.
I know, Rick. Yeah, that's what we sat at a booth at a bar. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
yes,
GDC
you did.
was awesome.
That was like our whole team, Rick, who was there at GDC.
There you go.
Yeah, I met so many people at GDC. It was so awesome. It's going to be probably a minute before I get back to GDC, so it's a bit of a bummer, but I'm glad I went last year. That was super fun.
Yeah. And especially now that you're like you kind of have to do a lot of stuff remotely since you've like made this cross-world move. How are you finding like remote work and these kind of remote connection spaces? Are they kind of holding up to the standard or?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly not much different. I worked very much online already. I'm in New Zealand now. I moved to New Zealand from California about 5 months ago.
She's a Kiwi now.
I'm a Kiwi now. Hopefully they'll accept me soon. Yeah, so I mean, I'm on LinkedIn a lot. I'm still doing a lot of video conversations, just like I did before. I am still going to a lot of in-person events. I'm trying to learn about the community here and meet the people here. It's a bummer, to miss out on like PAX West and GameSpeed and all the events happening over there. But hopefully I can, I did go to PAX Australia, which was fun. I'm a lot closer to the East Asian community. So hopefully I will be able to go pop over there sometime soon, which is great because I fucking love Asian food.
Recommend it. Yeah, it's got a cool vibe.
Southeast Asia. Yeah. I'm already meeting, like I met a lot of, New Zealand in my city. We had a New Zealand GDC the other month. So, it's kind of the same. I try to go to as much in-person stuff as I can. But yeah, it's a little bit difficult moving from San Diego, California, right next to LA, where arguably everything in the world happens, to a place where arguably nothing happens. It's a little bit rough. I'm a little homesick, but I'm in it for the long haul. So I just have to kind of figure it out.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a cool spot to be, and what an industry to be like almost like forced into this kind of remote space. Like it's so like you can find everything online essentially. Like it's very welcoming that way for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
New Zealand is great too. The game community or the game industry is doing really, really, really well over here economically because the government is really investing in it, whereas it's not really happening that much in America. So there's a little bit more hope over here. So I'm happy. I'm excited to be able to bring Cape Bear Games as a company over here as soon as they legally let me, which they won't let yet. So
that would be awesome. Yeah. Oh, the immigration stuff is so cool and fun.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. I mean, thankfully it's not COVID anymore, so hopefully it's a little bit faster than it used to be.
Yeah, it'll work out either way. It's just a matter of time. There's some fast tracks that I'm trying to go for if I can manage it. But there's a possibility those things won't work out, in which case it'll take a few years more. But either way, I'm not too concerned.
Nice. I'm glad. And I saw your post talking about how the space is like really good. Honestly, I haven't heard a lot coming out of New Zealand, so it's really cool to see that like creatively they're like bolstering
Path of Exile 2.
There you go. I did not know that was New Zealand based.
Yep, that's New Zealand. That's probably the biggest one. Crazy. There's Dredge, which is that like horror fishing game. If anyone's played that, that's New Zealand. There's Pickpock does like, I don't know the name of theirs. They do some zombie game. There's not a ton. It's a very tiny little country, but there's definitely some things. There's also Australia is doing pretty well as well. Government-wise, they're also investing a lot, and so Cult of the Lamb is from Australia.
I think
Landfall big one that's from Australia.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They're either New Zealand or Australia as well. The Peak People. I don't know. Around there. I'm not good with studio locations.
Yeah. There's another big one that came out.
Aggro Crab.
Oh, Aggro Crab, I think is actually, are they Australian? Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, like Peak.
They're Australian.
Yeah, Aggro Crab is Australian. Team Cherry, which is
there you go.
Cult of the Lamb, I think, is Australia. So yeah, it's happy. Oh, Hollow Knight. Yes, that's what I was trying to think of.
Hollow Knight. There's another one.
Yeah. So Australia, New Zealand's doing pretty good.
Nice. And how do you find like volunteer space wise, like kind of globally? How do you find that space? Is it growing, shrinking, kind of staying where it is?
Oh, that's a good question. I should hire like a data person to help us out at the partner program. I don't
Oh my
know
goodness.
global factors. Hello, this is Naruto.
Oh my goodness, what a name. Hello, Naruto. Oh, he's so cute. Oh my
He'll
goodness.
get mad at me soon. So I don't know, like globally. What I do know is that there are far more people trying to go the indie route nowadays. I run a partner program through K-Bear Games where I unite unfunded and self-funded indies into a community and help juniors and other people looking to volunteer on these indies, help them find positions at these teams. So yeah, I talk to a lot of indies and I talk to a lot of juniors. And yeah, it's a hat. It's a little dinosaur hat, but it doesn't, his head's a little bit too big. It doesn't fit him. So we just put it on as like a little necklace for him.
That's so cute.
Yeah, but yeah, so through that community, I talk to a lot of indies, and a lot of them are founded because they just are tired of trying to look for a job. We have a whole team of laid off Jagex employees who just decided to found their own team. Just so many indies or so many people are just like, I want to work in games. The way it seems to be able to stay in games is if I do it myself. So yeah, I talk a lot to those people, and then the volunteers who want, but they want to work in games, and this is the only way that they'll be able to do it if they can't do it solo, which is a crazy monumental task that I don't understand how people do. And also, I don't think like those successful games like Balatro or Megabonk, like they on the surface they're solo games and maybe true, but like I don't think it is true. I think, maybe I think they have contractors that maybe they aren't super public about, intentionally hiding, and I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I mean, yeah.
going through a game publishing now, like having published my own game, I don't see how they could possibly have done it entirely on their own. So I'm just
it's a nightmare. Publishing is a nightmare right now, for sure. For sure. It's a long road. I can't, even with a small team, like a lot of indie studios, like it's a long, I mean, even you guys like extended it from 6 months to a year and a half. And that's not a long extension by studio means by any standard.
Yeah. I mean, we realized when 6 months was coming up that we simply were too junior to make a quality game. And since we had gone viral, we felt like we wanted to put out something more polished and better. If we hadn't gone viral and this had stayed very simple portfolio project, then we probably would have been fine with what we had at 6 months. But we wanted to do a little bit better. Balatro's developer worked with a publisher, exactly, and not to mention 4 years of private playtesting with people they knew. Yeah, QA and playtesting,
Yeah, and for QA friends out there, QA is part of the games industry, always has been, always will be. Do not let any company tell you otherwise.
Even with us, like we had 15 people on the core team, but that isn't true technically. Because we had we had we had a very, very generous owner of a QA studio offer his studio services for free to us. Huge. And so if you look at our credits, we have over 20, 30 people named in our credits who worked on the game as QA testers. So yeah, it's even when you're not solo, there's still more people behind the scenes.
Yeah, and like you said, you're kind of uniting a bunch of studios even through like just kind of creating this community. Do you want to speak on that a little bit? You've got this big, what is it, like 30 plus studios?
We have over 150.
Well, that's close to 30.
Yeah. 150 unfunded or self-funded indies that are part of the partner program. So if you are unfunded or self-funded, and that means that in our definition, that means that you just don't have shareholders or stakeholders. So if you got grants, congratulations. If you are, self-funded with your own money from previous game projects or something like that, you qualify. So if you think you may or may not qualify for that, just, get a hold of us or just apply and we will chat about it. I meet with every single person, pretty much every single person that applies. You do have to be at least a team of 2. So if you're a solo developer, I will reject you at this moment. I am trying to work on a way to include you guys, but at this current moment, I'm focusing on teams. So
fair enough.
Yeah, we bring together unfunded or self-funded indies because I think, mainly because when we started the community, really what happened is we went viral on LinkedIn, right? It all starts with going to viral. So we went viral on LinkedIn saying we were a studio by and for juniors in the industry. And overnight, I had 600 plus people in my Discord who were like, I want to volunteer on your game. And I said, that's crazy. Thank you, but I don't have 600 positions to fill. So what I said instead was like, I actually know a couple of other volunteer-based studios. Let me invite them into the Discord and allow them to recruit from that pool of volunteers. So I did that and that was really, really successful. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's do more of this. So I made it official. I named it the partner program. I made an application and I gave people like a role to pick on the Discord if they wanted to volunteer. And now we have what looks like a little job board where any studio within the program can recruit volunteers in the Discord if they are truly unfunded. Hey, stop it. Sorry.
No, that's how it is.
So they recruit from the Discord and you can join a volunteer team and get some really hands-on experience. Obviously you have to still protect yourself as both a studio and a volunteer, make sure that you are asking the right questions. And if you don't know what the right questions are, I'm happy to help you out. I want all the volunteers to have a good experience, for some people, these teams that they're on are the very first game teams they've ever worked on, and they will assume that their experience in this studio is going to be their experience in the games industry as a whole, and that may or may not be true. I got very lucky with my team and with my leadership background to say that we had a very positive experience team-wise, but that's not always the case. And so if you are having a negative experience with one of my partner studios or literally anywhere else, it shouldn't be like that. So if you are having a negative experience, please come to me and let me know, and I will chat with you and with them about that, whether they're in my partner studio or not, because I want everyone to have a good time. But yeah, so if you are looking for some portfolio experience, join the server. We have over 3,000 people in the server who have tagged themselves as willing to volunteer. And then we have over 150 indies as part of the program, a solid chunk of which are actively recruiting. There are a bunch of positions currently open in the Discord. So yeah, take a look. If you are honestly, an indie wanting to join, if you're an indie wanting to join, the main draw is the ability to recruit, but also the community itself. Like I said, we have ex-AAA dev founders. We have 20 plus year veteran founders. We have student founders. We have junior founders. We have literally everything under the sun. And the community is really, really, really awesome. We work under a mission of supporting each other instead of competing against each other. So, and there's some really cool stuff happening soon with the partner program. So I'm excited for more stuff to be happening there. And if you want to apply, you can also find that in the Discord. So if you want to join a team, look in the Discord for the opportunities channel. If you want to apply for the partner program as an indie, then you need to find the application partner program channel. There you go.
There you go. Huge. Yeah. Stacy has just dropped it into our chat. So if you haven't joined, I seriously suggest you do. I'm in the channel. I'm sure a lot of familiar faces from Entry Level are also in this channel. I see a lot of people kind of poking around the same communities. Super recommend it. I do recommend, getting like portfolio ready content onto your portfolios if you can. That is truly a determinator terminer, for a lot of studios nowadays. And Ayla, I'm sure you could recommend like that volunteering really is a great way to go.
That's the whole reason K-Beer Games was started, was a way to help us get hired into the games industry. Some of us actually have successfully been hired into the games industry on temporary contracts, that some of which may turn permanent if we are lucky. Nice. I mean, it does work. Not for everyone. For some people, again, the industry is really, really difficult right now. But my whole thing is like, I'm trying to play the long game, right? So yes, the short game is I need a job, I need to get paid now, right? And that should absolutely be your first priority. You should do whatever it takes to make that happen and be financially safe and secure. However, if your long-term goal is to work in the games industry, and if you want to be in the games industry making games in 10, 20 years, then you need to start now. And the only way to do that when they are not hiring is to make games yourself, and either do it by yourself or start your own team or join an existing team and start getting under your belt and getting those published games under your belt and those names in credits on your portfolio. So obviously, like, I understand level of privilege when it comes at a studio. A lot of people don't have that time between their multiple jobs and their family commitments. And so I understand that. But for those of us who can make it work, you should be doing what you can to make it work. Yeah.
Truly. If like joining a volunteer studio at that size is a little too daunting at first, personally, I recommend game jams. Like, start small if you're kind of new to that. I'm sure like everybody's who's like kind of hands-on has done a game jam before or is interested and has heard of them. And then, seriously, like volunteer studios are often like a next step if you're having troubles getting hired. Definitely. And you're kind of in that position. Truly.
I did 3 weekend game jams, and then we did Plantasia. So it was by far the largest scale thing I'd ever done. I like game jams. I definitely think you should have at least a few, or have done at least a few. For me, they're not my favorite thing because I really enjoy the larger scale thing. I really enjoy
for sure
making something like more polished, more put together, especially with the weekend game jams. Like, no matter what you do, it's going to kind of be shit, right? Like, unless you're super talented. It's just not enough time. It's just that's not how games work. Like, it's just not enough time, right? So it's I really like those longer term projects, and that's where you can kind of find one in an indie studio. It is important to ask yourself though, hey, what is my goal of joining an indie studio? Is it because I want my name in credits? Cool. Make sure that whatever team you are joining is giving you that. But also, hey, is it because I want to get a job ASAP? Then maybe you need to join a studio that is a bit further along in their development and can release a lot quicker. Because, I tried to have a short timeline, but that's not the case for every single other indie in the world. Some have been making their games for a few years and some have a few years to go. So make sure you're, like I said, asking the right questions. And if you don't know what the right questions are, ask me and I can help you out.
Yeah, seriously. Like, please, like, ask people who have done it before. A lot of the times, like, for example, Ayla, like, I know a lot of people, and we always recommend it, Amir Satvat, all of these people, like, they share their information. That's what's keeping these communities kind of growing. Like, we really, really, really do, like, recommend, like, talking to people to see, like, if things, overlap with what you want and all these goals. Because, like,
Amir Savat is the best. I love him very much. I'm very lucky to be able to call him a personal friend. He is just the best guy ever. And his community is fantastic. If you're looking for a job, a paid job, he can help you there. Can't guarantee anything, obviously. Not everyone. There's just not enough jobs for as many people who want them.
Classic.
But he can help you kind of do your best, put your best foot forward. Whereas my community is more about the indies and getting on these game projects. Different communities, but similar vibes. I'm emulating a lot of what Amir is doing in the partner program, and will continue to do so. And we are actually about to be part of Amir Satvat's resources here soon. He's just kind of waiting on me. So I'm just need to finish some things up and then we'll be on there. yeah, Amir is really great. And also just talking to people, like, yes, you can join these teams, but networking is really, really important. And mentors are really, really important. And Amir Satbak can help you with mentors as well through his coaching resource. That is where I got some of my first mentors. Is you just go on that mentors spreadsheet and you pick a few people and you message them on LinkedIn and you chat with them. And I'm constantly doing video chats with mentors. I had 2 today where I met brand new people in the industry who are doing things that I want to do. And I asked them a bunch of questions and I learned a lot of stuff. You should be meeting with these people in video calls and chatting with them, and asking them questions, and having as many mentors as you possibly can. I like to collect them. I like to have a roster, and just be able to, any question I have someone I can go to and ask.
Honestly, those are like the two major like foundational pillars. You've got the, veterans, the mentors, but you've also got, this indie, this volunteer, these startup people that are.
And I learned so much from my own community. I mean, again, like the partner program are a bunch of other companies doing the exact same thing I'm trying to do, right? And so we learn so much from each other. Even if someone is less experienced than you, you can learn something from them because they have different experiences, because they've lived a different life than you. You can learn something from literally everyone. So I love talking to these studios when they apply. I love talking to the juniors. I love talking to the mentors. I tried, like Rick says, got to catch them all. I love talking to literally everybody. Yeah, it's really important. If you're passionate about the industry, you want to be here. Like I said, long term, big picture. You need to get in with the industry and start talking to these people. And something I teach in my networking courses is like, don't be intimidated by these people. They are just people. They're not celebrities. They are not Kim Kardashian. They're just normal people with a job that you think is cool. But they think they're normal. They think they're normal, random people. And so don't be intimidated. The games industry, I have found, is extremely helpful and extremely willing. So just chat. Just have a chat.
Honestly, yeah. Industry is also super. I know a lot of people within our community, at least, are like either neurodivergent or neurodivergent adjacent. Like,
oh, yeah.
This is
everyone
one of the most, literally.
Yeah.
We make the best games. What can we say? But seriously, it's a very like friendly space. If you're worried about, how you might come across in text and stuff, like, please don't be like, seriously, reach out to anyone. And I guarantee you they'll at least give you
is not reply to you.
Exactly. Yeah. Seriously. Like, yeah. Reach out to people. It's truly super beneficial. And if you're new and looking to find a community, you can find a community here. You can find a community in Cave Bear Games. There's all of these like awesome spaces where everybody's just as like new as you are, trying to kind of find their space in it. Yeah. And I think we've got a couple questions if you're down. Looks like
I'm so down.
I want to ask you many questions. I will bother my mods to give me the questions because I am bad at it.
And thank you for having me. I've been admiring Entry Level on LinkedIn for so many months now.
Thank you for coming. It was so cool that we got a chance to. I was so worried because of the time zone being a nightmare. But it's
hard, but it's not impossible. It's a little impossible if you're in the UK, because I'm exactly 12 hours ahead of the UK. And that's really rough. So I have a couple people I have to talk to semi-regularly in the UK, and I have to talk to them at 9 p.m. because it's 9 a.m. over there. That's a little rough, but everywhere else we can probably make work.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that. My first bit in Japan was the same thing. It was like 7 a.m. calls. So I was like, I am not built for this. I can't do this.
I'm not trying to get up. I get up at like my calendar opens at 10 a.m. my time, and I get up at like 9:30.
Yeah.
I'm not a morning person.
Neither.
I'd rather stay up till 10.
But yeah, no, likewise. It's been really cool. I've been a huge fan, I think I spoke to you first through Alex, who, if you guys aren't familiar, also volunteers with Entry Level.
Alex who? There's literally so many Alexes.
I know. I did not drop a name. Alex Crean, sorry.
Oh,
Crean. 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 Okay,
it's
sweet.
Crean.
Alex Crean.
Because Alex Crean was our original programmer on Plantasia, and his own studio. He had to drop out of Plantasia because he was just busy with his own studio and his real life job, which is totally fair. His own studio serious point games is part of our partner program as well. Alex is great.
Yeah. So I've met you guys through there, but honestly, I've been
Fellow
following for a
educator.
while. Long time fan. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Me too.
Cool. And all right, let's jump into our first question then. It's coming from Matthew SWDM. How powerful is networking using Amir Satvat's community, specific to the mentoring thing and such?
Okay. Networking itself is super powerful. You should be doing it. If you are not, figure out a way that makes you comfortable with doing it. Chat with me. I'm happy. I literally teach a course on how to do it. You need to be doing it. It's just kind of required in the industry. Unfortunately, it just kind of is. Amir Satvat himself as a person is one of the most pure human beings I've ever met in my life. I love him so much, and he has created a fantastic community that is very similar to himself, being very pure and really just trying to help. I am not as active in his. I'm not active at all in his Discord because I can only manage to be active in a single Discord, which is my own, and I'm barely active there. I'm not very good at multiple. Yeah, I'm not very good at juggling multiple Discords. So I don't know too much about his Discord. I was a moderator once upon a time, but I really just helped him kind of set it up when he first launched it. So I don't know much about it, but I do know that he has a beautiful, huge team of people helping him with that community. So I think it's very powerful. I'm sure it is very, very powerful. But it's, just as powerful as LinkedIn. It's just as powerful as this Discord. It's just as powerful as Caper Games Discord. It's just as powerful as every other game Discord. You want to be talking to people. His resources are proven to work. This man is data. That's his thing. Okay. Amir loves data. He doesn't do anything, including in his literal personal life, unless it is backed up by data. So he knows when things work, and he only supports things that literally by the book numbers wise work. So yes, his stuff works. It is proven to work literally data wise. His mentorship list is fantastic. All of the people on that list have personally been added to that list, said, hey, I am down to be a mentor for your community, specifically, Amir. You might message some people and be like, hey, I found you from Amir's server, and they might not reply. That's okay. They're busy people. Message a bunch of other people. So yes, that is where I first started with my mentors. Once I got better at LinkedIn, I was able to find more just kind of organically on LinkedIn. But yes, if you are just looking to start out, go and connect with literally everyone on that list.
Truly, that's how I found my mentors too at first. Great access. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Yeah. Great answer. That's really cool. And could you elaborate on how volunteer studios work a little bit? If the game goes to Steam with a price tag, where does the revenue go? Mm-hmm. And are there any safety nets to prevent worker exploitation?
Oh my gosh. Such a good question. It's really hard because, the whole thing is these studios don't have money, right? Money rules the world. It's just how the world works. And it's also how, people are compensated for their work. So you really do have to advocate for yourself and make sure that you are asking the right questions. So it's so hard too, because I know that these studios don't have money. And so how are they supposed to buy a contract? Contracts are really expensive because lawyers are really expensive. It's really hard because you might join a team that you think is really, really cool, but then they don't have a contract for you, which is a red flag. But then at the same time, they don't have money for it. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad people. It's really difficult. I, of course, always recommend having a contract. And I say this to the indie studios as well. But again, I am currently I'm working with lawyers to try to figure out a way to make contracts accessible to indies.
That's super. That's
so really cool. Difficult. It's hopefully we can answer it. It's really hard. So I understand that not having a contract is a red flag. And if you can, join a team with one, that's definitely the best. But even if they have contracts, that doesn't mean you're safe from exploitation. Like I said, if you are feeling in any way negative about the team that you are on, there's a problem. Talk to someone about it. Talk to your leadership in that team first. If they are not listening to you, that's a problem. Go outside, talk to mentors, talk to me, especially if they're in my partner program, talk to me. I live I had some reports of, not the best leadership, and I, talked to that studio, and hopefully they can make some changes. I believe giving people second chances. And I want to protect the volunteers that are in my community, but also anyone. It doesn't matter if they're in my partner program or not. If you're having a negative time, like, I'm happy to help you kind of navigate that. It's a volunteer project. So again, you should be motivated outside of money. You should be motivated by, your name and credits. You should be motivated by rev share if there is going to be money in the game, or some people do, like, you track your hours and you'll get paid, a certain amount after the game gets revenue. But you should also definitely not join a team if you're expecting a volunteer team, if you're expecting money at any point in the process. The vast majority of these games will not make any money. So it really should just be about the portfolio work. I don't recommend joining a team that has an NDA that doesn't allow you to put the work on your portfolio. There are some studios in my program that do have NDAs. I have a rule where I don't tell people how to run their business because it's not my business, but I do have recommendations, and I don't recommend an NDA when it comes to a volunteer project, because the vast majority of the people who are joining that team are joining it because they need a portfolio piece, and you can't, and it ruins the whole thing if there's an NDA. It really depends. You have to ask the right questions. You have to know what your goals are. What are you trying to get out of the project? And then ask the questions to make sure that the team is right for you. And again, don't do it on your own. Ask mentors, ask me, ask other people about the situation, and ask questions.
That's awesome. And that lawyer thing is so cool. That nobody expects those kind of background costs until they, like, get hit with them. Truly.
We got really, really lucky with getting a pro bono lawyer, and that is because of networking, which, again, really important. But that's obviously not something that can happen to everyone. And so I am working to hopefully make it easier, but we'll see. No promises.
Nice. And with regards to conflict and stuff, that actually segues perfectly into our next question about, do you have any tips or advice for avoiding conflict within the team? Like, if there is any that pops up?
I think it depends on what your role is, right? So if you're just someone on the team, you're a developer, if you're not a leader, you need to do your best to not escalate, to not act unprofessionally. But at the same time, if there are issues, you need to be able to feel comfortable to go to your leadership with those, and they should be listening to you, and they should be implementing changes to make you feel comfortable. And if that is not what is happening, then something is wrong, right? My whole thing with being a leader is you cannot change other people. You can only change yourself. So oftentimes what I see is a conflict will arise, and people get emotional very quickly because we're human beings. That's what we do. It's totally normal. And they'll be like, "Oh, you're hearing me wrong. You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. You're wrong about this." Blaming the other person, because that's just natural. It's what we do. But if you are a leader, you really need to swallow that pride. You can't play the blame game. You have to just step back from the conversation until you are settled enough. Think about it. Think, hey, this person clearly has an issue. Whether or not I think they are wrong doesn't matter. There's clearly an issue here. I need to have the emotional stability to be able to have a communicative conversation with them to figure out what the root of this problem is, and then how can I as a leader fix that? Right. If you are a leader, that's what you need to be doing. Communication is really, really important. You need to be mature enough to be able to do that. Leadership is hard. You need to always be learning. But if you are not in a leadership position, then you need to communicate as well. You need to make sure that you are not just internalizing these conflicts. If you feel like something is wrong, no matter how little, you need to be telling someone about it. And then again, if they are not reacting in a way that is beneficial, you need to get some outside help, some outside advice. Hopefully we can get things fixed. Yeah.
That's awesome advice. It's just so cool because I can see exactly where, like, the teaching background comes from when you answer questions like this. I'm like, that's a teacher.
It really helps. It's been really beneficial.
Honestly, what a great segue. It gives you all those, like, leadership skills ready to go.
I know. I didn't expect it. I'm really thankful.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And you're still, teaching these courses and stuff. That's really cool.
I'm still a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, you're giving awesome advice to a lot of people who are really curious about it.
Hope it's helpful.
We've got
I'm always like super down to answer questions, so just message me. I know we're over time. I have all the time in the world.
Awesome. So, I was actually gonna bug you about that. So sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'll bug you for a couple more questions here then. If we don't end up getting to your question because you've asked multiple, Ayla has said it, I have said it, ask someone, ask her, ask Cave Bear Games. Like,
I literally just DM me your question on LinkedIn.
There you go. That easy.
It might take me, if it requires a lot of thought, it might take me a couple days to get back to you because like mental load and all that. But I'm also happy to stay after a little bit here and chat. So whatever.
Awesome. Super thankful for you, man. On a very like creative, fun kind of buzzy note, were there any ideas that you had to discard even though you loved them in Plantasia? And how did you deal with it?
So many, dude. So it's an idle game. We really wanted some automation aspect. So right now you have to click to plant the seed. You have to click to water the seed. You have to click to give it sunlight, click to give it nutrients. You know, there's a lot of clicking, click to harvest it, you know, stuff like that. We really wanted to have some automation, right, to make it a little bit more idle. And the way we wanted to make that automation was by creating little robot bugs that like did stuff. So like a little robot bee that would go around and give nutrients or something. And we couldn't do that, but we have some really great concept art. This is actually on my list of stuff I want to make a post about on LinkedIn at some point. Because the concept art for little bugs was so good. And I'm super bummed we didn't have time to do it.
I love seeing concept art. I love seeing like the early development stages of games because you can like always see where it starts.
I definitely want to talk more about it on LinkedIn. I just have to like sit down and write, which is hard.
Well, yeah. But there you go. Now, everyone, you have an excuse to immediately go to Ayla's LinkedIn and check it out and follow. And
you should definitely be following me on LinkedIn. Exactly. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Just connect with me.
But yeah, I'm excited to see all the concept art and stuff. It's honestly, it's crazy how things change from beginning to end.
Yeah,
really.
It is. It's insane.
In terms of volunteer teams and your CV and the nitty gritty of things, should you put that you're getting experience on volunteer teams onto your CV, or should you only put them when the games are published?
I'm not a recruiter. Every recruiter is different, but yeah, I mean, I think if you don't have a full page of experience, you should definitely be putting what you're actively doing. I mean, it's the same as being in a game studio that's the game yet. Yeah, you should definitely you should act like your volunteer position is a job. And you should present it as such. If act as if it is a fully good, correct, official job. Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. If you're if you're worried about that kind of thing, like I know like some places are maybe like weird with volunteer positions. I think that's stupid. I think that's ridiculous.
I agree. Yeah.
If that's the case, just don't list it as a volunteer position and treat it like a studio job. Seriously. Because that's what it is. You're working for a studio. You're working with a team.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at LinkedIn and you look at some studios that you see pop up on LinkedIn, like most of them don't have money.
No, seriously.
We went viral. I thought we were like an official studio that might have had money. We weren't trying to be misleading. We didn't know we would go viral, right?
No.
If DMing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign is considered a viable experience for narrative designers, then your volunteer position at a studio is definitely viable.
Seriously, honest to God, I mean, like promo art for a D&D podcast is what got me my first studio position. Like it really is. Like,
yeah, I see this. I see fun stuff. There's a series on LinkedIn of this. It's a little facetious, but it's funny. This little series on LinkedIn that I'm seeing that's this one girl telling you how to frame your experience in games, like managing a farm in Stardew Valley, or dungeon or DM, or like being a guild leader or something, like how to make it sound in the interview as like professional and stuff. It's really funny. It's a little like you probably wouldn't be able to get away with it like that, but it is pretty cool. Similar
It is
kind
really
of vibe.
funny. Yeah, I totally right. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's great. Yeah. Yeah, no, seriously, treat it like a job, because it is a job, essentially.
Yeah.
Is the best way to look at it, really. And how do you come up with ideas for posts on your LinkedIn? Because you do be posting.
Oh. I don't know. So I'm doing a little bit better now. I actually, like, within the last couple of months, I actually now have a content calendar, and I have like a list that I'm writing down ideas on. I have not done that for the past 2 years. We're all friends here. Back in California, where it was a lot easier, I would just get high at night. I'd smoke some weed, and I'd be on my phone. I'd be typing some LinkedIn posts. I can't do that as easily here. So I have a content calendar that has been working a little bit more for me. But really, it's my whole thing is that if it's game related at all, post it. If it's about a game, just post. If it's about an event that you went to that's game related, just post about it. If it's just literally anything, like you saw a news article about games and you have a thought or opinion, whatever works. Weed, content calendars, whatever. I'm not promoting drug use. But for me, it helps with my ADHD, right? So it's fine. I mean, that's literally what I would do, because it was just easier for me to do. I think, LinkedIn is definitely a little bit more professional. I don't think like some people do shit posts on LinkedIn and they can make it their whole thing. That's not how it works for me. I'm actually terrible at shit posting. I have never been good at that. But yeah, it's whatever works for you. It's your personality. Like it's who you are in writing on LinkedIn. So yeah.
Yeah,
just
honestly,
whatever you
post
want.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's game related, yeah.
Yeah, that's a super. Honestly, like personally, I love seeing like where people come from, like how their minds work in games. Like whether it's like, oh, I saw this and I thought it was cool, or like, hey, I made a meme based on this in the industry. Like I love them both. So yeah, both are great for sure.
And the thing with like it's LinkedIn is very similar to game design, where it's just iteration. So post something, see how it does, try different things, but it's all about finding your brand. See what works, see what you like to do, see what you are motivated to do, and do more of that.
Yeah, if you saw my LinkedIn when I was still in my teaching and entering entry level phase, no, you did not.
Exactly.
Like seriously, things change all the time. Trends change all the time. Like, do what makes you feel good. Yeah, for sure. And it looks like we've got one more question. If I'm reading this right, I lied. We have 2 more questions because I can't count to 10. As somebody hoping to work in QA and game design, what is a good way to demonstrate both skills in a portfolio? If you have any idea.
I'm sorry, say it one more time. I was reading a comment.
No, totally fine. As somebody hoping to work in QA and game design, what's a good way to demonstrate both skills in a portfolio?
Split portfolios are a little hard. I don't have the best answer for this. Maybe literally like have a tab that's for game design and have a tab that's for QA. But again, the best thing that you can do is just to practice those skills. So start playtesting games, start, joining playtests, public playtests, private playtests, whatever you can get into, and building your own bug reports, building your own bug boards, talking to QA people and figuring out what they do, and how they do it. And then same for game design. Start designing systems, start GDS. If you're a game designer, you need to be going to GDS, narrative game, any type. You need to be going to GDS. They have fantastic resources for that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if that answers the question. I don't know if I'm the best person to ask about that. I'm not a recruiter. I don't have a job in the industry. No one's hired me. So like, I don't know. But do your best to actually have physical work. And again, if it's your name and credits, even better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the way to go, right? And like, chances are, like, if you're shooting for indie, Sorry, I totally lost the name of who asked. But if you're shooting for indie, a lot of the times they do want you to wear a lot of hats, so like you can kind of talk up
True.
both. Like they're gonna love that.
Yeah, if it's indie, indie and AAA are totally different. If you're a AAA, they want you really specialized, and they don't want to see two different disciplines on a portfolio. But if you are go for indie, then if you got design and QA, then that's a bonus.
Yeah. And our final question is back to LinkedIn. Do you have any tips for making LinkedIn posts or any traps to avoid? Traps to avoid is an interesting question.
I mean, tips is do whatever works for you. So if you want to start posting on LinkedIn, then right. Do not go and look at everyone else and try to copy what they are doing and say that that's what I have to do. However, you should go and look at other people's types of posts and try. Like, I don't know if you guys remember a high school English class, a essay, and they would be like, okay, now write the same formatted like essay, but in your own words kind of thing. Like, it's the same thing. So, look at the types of posts there are already, especially the ones that do well. But again, it really is all about finding who you are and your personality. The posts that work for other people don't necessarily work for you, and the posts that work for you don't necessarily work for other people. So again, same as game design, just iterate, see what works, experiment. Traps to avoid. My biggest piece of advice with having a fun and happy time on LinkedIn is to exclusively interact and engage with content that is positive. I don't care if it is negative content that you agree with. Don't interact with it. You want your feed to be exclusively happy, fun stuff. It again doesn't matter if you even agree with it. There is certainly political things on LinkedIn that I agree with that I still do not interact with because I just don't want to see it. It's not what LinkedIn is about for me. If it's, and then there are people I see on LinkedIn who are like complaining that LinkedIn is a cesspool and terrible because it is. But it's because they're also commenting and ranting on these posts and starting arguments in these posts. And like, I get it. You're totally right. Like, trust me, I get it, my guy. But then you're just going to have a negative time and your mental health is going to spiral. It's the same for literally any social media. Only interact with positive things. Do not get rage baited. Only put out positive things. Only interact with positive things. And then your feed will only be positive. I very, very rarely see negative shit on LinkedIn because I am so huge on that rule. Yeah.
Yeah, truly cater everything's algorithmic now. Like, cater your algorithm. Use it to your advantage for sure. Yeah, and we have one last question, and then I am going to call it just because it's getting a little late here up north.
Sure.
And that question is actually a fantastic one to end out on. Rick is asking, hey, Ayla, what would you say is the most common misconception about volunteer studios, and how would you counter it?
The most common misconception is that we're exploiting our workers, that everyone deserves to be paid and you should not be paid, which true. Would you like to pay us? No? Well, no one else wants to pay us either. But I still want to work in this industry. And so unfortunately, my only option is to do it for free. So really just ask more questions. I don't get this a lot. Again, I have built a very, very positive community, both on Discord and LinkedIn. And so I don't get a lot of pushback very often unless a post does particularly well and kind of goes outside of my little community. But yeah, that's, I'll talk about volunteer teams. And then every once in a while I'll get, someone who's been in the industry for a long time and never not been paid. And they'll be like, you should never accept a volunteer opportunity. You should always be paid for your work. This is terrible to, promote, and you're exploiting people. And I'm like, brother, maybe just ask another question. Like, maybe just be like, oh, well, what do you mean volunteer? I mean, rev share. Is that because when I say rev share, then they're like, oh, well, that's not what I'm talking about. Well, of course, it's not what you're talking about. Maybe you should just ask another question, because we do have nonprofits in our partner program. And if you would ask that, I would have been like, yeah, there's some nonprofits that do it just for literally charity. And they're like, oh, well, that's not what I'm talking about. Well, yeah, what you're talking about doesn't exist in my community. That's not what you're talking about. You just have to ask another question. Just have a little bit more of critical thinking skills. So yeah, it's, and again, I'm not saying that my community or volunteer studios are immune to exploitation. That is absolutely not true. You have to be very aware of the situations that you are in. And again, if you're feeling negatively about a situation you are in, you need to be talking about it. But for the most part, it's just like, we just want to make games. Like and no one is letting us make it for money. So what do you want me to do? You want me to go like back to teaching forever? Like, I don't want to do that. I want to make games. And so I'm going to make games. Sorry if no one wants to pay me to do it. Maybe eventually someone will.
Yeah, it really does come down to like, do what works for you, do what makes you comfortable, and like that you're like safety net wise are in the position to do truly. But there's a wealth of information online. There's a wealth of safety protocols online, contract info, all of this. And yeah. Like, people are going to make games. People want to make games. It just kind of depends on how you want to go about doing that, for sure.
Yeah. And the industry shouldn't be like that. Obviously, in an ideal world, everyone is getting paid for their stuff. But unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. So
yeah. Yep. I'm sure everybody's familiar with the like, hey, can you do this for me? You're going to get paid in experience. That is, it's always around, always going to hang around. And in an industry like this, it's very difficult to gain experience without being in a studio. So gaining experience through like professional volunteering where everybody's, safe, secure, and has a timeline is like honestly a fantastic way to do it.
Yeah. That's my advice.
Yeah, that's great advice. That's a really cool. I mean, I know a lot of people are very curious about volunteer studios, but maybe a little bit nervous. So it was really cool having you on today.
That's a safe nervousness. Again, I'm more than happy to chat about this. I totally understand the concerns, and they're definitely real. And again, I can't promise that they don't exist within my partner program. I hope they don't, but if they do, it's something that I want to educate about. So I'm always open to anyone chatting with me. Please come to me about anything. I'm super approachable, I promise.
Seriously, guys, she is. We reached out, we cold turkey reached out to her to come join us, and she absolutely did, and was super kind and super cool about it.
I was like, sick, yeah, I love entry level.
literally, that's all it takes. We're like, hey, you're cool. We like your stuff. Like, seriously. Yeah, there you go. Stacy was the one who did like the actual like formal stuff, and
yeah, no worries.
But yeah, it was really cool having you here today. Like, it was really cool seeing like how this like volunteer studio works, how your journey to that volunteer studio works. I think a lot of people are coming out of this feeling very inspired, very motivated. And if you are, guys, like, seriously, check out Cave Bear Games. I love everything they do. I love all their community content, all of their posts, their game, which again, I am going to plug. Like, it's really fantastic stuff. I can't recommend it enough. And if you do have questions that you are maybe not ready to ask yet and feel like you need to ask Ayla, ask people here, ask people on Cave Bear Games. We're hoping you're feeling motivated to, reach out and ask those questions.
Yes. If you play my game, please leave a review.
Reviews are huge on Steam.
They're so big.
Give it a good review.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Ayla, for joining me, and thank you to Naruto as well. Hopefully he's not knocking things over anymore.
He went somewhere. I don't know where he went. Probably hanging out with his dad. He's a daddy boy. Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I think I saw some questions in the chat that may or may not have been answered. I'm happy to stick around for just a few more minutes. If you don't have to stick around with me. So yeah, I'll be around for just a few more minutes if anyone has anything. But yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah.
In that case, I am going to hop off now just because it's a little bit late over here. But thank you so much. Guys, like, please feel free to pick Ayla's brain. I can't recommend that enough. She is a wealth of information and good at teaching it. So thank you very much, everybody. And we'll have a couple moderators hanging out here if there's any issues. But take care, everybody. Have a great night. Have a great week. And I'm sure we'll talk later. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Yes, I'm sure.
See you guys.
Bye.